All right, so we are ready. And
Okay.
today being wonderful October, what, 7th is it?
Yes.
Seems like the month and time is going so quickly.
Mm.
And, you know, the next thing will be, oh, it's time we're prepping for Christmas and all of those things. But right
Um,
now, I'm simply staying in the space. I am appreciating,
Halloween come first.
that's right, I am appreciating October 7th. I'm not rushing forward in that regards. I'm just taking
ma'am,
the day. I'm not looking back
how you
even on
doing today?
yesterday. I'm going to stay in today's
Yes,
space.
ma'am. Yeah. Mm,
Okay. So on that note,
my word.
yes, wow word. The wow word that I chose is trustworthy
Trust.
Hmm.
Oh, Jesus. Ooh, this. Yes, yes.
because I am in a state of suspicion and not trusting anything. And the definition for trustworthy is able to be relied on as honest or truthful. And while I'm in the state of trusting, but I realize for me as an individual, I want to be recognized as a trustworthy individual. So building upon my overview from The Rock last week and the word progress, that's another word that I want to add into my building block or characteristic is being trustworthy. And so that is the word for me for this week. I hope you share this. And my question is, are there any comments or words that you like to share?
No, but I would like to say one thing.
Yes,
That may
please.
be one of my weaknesses, being trustworthy.
Hmm.
Very good. Anyone else?
I think sometimes you have to give a chance on in terms of trustworthy,
Yes.
but somehow I feel it on the tone that you're speaking. Could I just comment a little that you may have a little confusions inside you on that trustworthy there? I'm
Right.
not too sure.
Well, and it is, it's a variety of things, but you know, I'm bringing that to the forefront again. And people that have known me for years, they will probably say to you, if Ann says she's going to do something and it isn't done, or I don't hear from her, I will check on her because that's not who I am. So, and I keep that in me and share that with people about me. So once again, if I tell you I'm going to do something, now the third thing I'm adding into the fact of it is of not being, maybe perhaps being ill or something, is now I recognize that there's a little, slight little memory issue going on. So every now and then I may have to say, I'm sorry, I just forgot.
Okay.
But I'm going to be truthful and tell you, I really forgot. So
Yes.
that's it. That's the wild word.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, Mary.
When working with the children, that's one thing I told them, two great characters. Trust, being trustworthy and honorable. Those are things that I taught the children that I help rear, not my children also, but I worked at a home.
Oh,
Trust and honor, those are very, very, very.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Well
Me.
said. Well said.
Yes.
Good.
Very good. Okay, so on to some of my announcements for today. Um, thus far, did any of you receive the updated announcement today from Andre about the
Yeah.
3 o'clock um, presentation? Well, they're going to have a discussion this afternoon at 3 o'clock on virtual programming, which I think I'm encouraging everybody to participate in that if you can. There is another schedule that was sent, and on that new schedule is the link for that session. I do plan to pop in into that one as well. My question is, did you guys, do you have the latest schedule?
No, I only get the schedule when you send me the schedule. I did get a phone call this morning, but I haven't checked the voicemail. Probably
Well, that was a phone call that came in this morning as a reminder, but the new schedule, I think, was distributed either Monday or Friday. So none of you have it, the new schedule?
I have it.
You
I do
have
have
it?
have it.
Okay, well, it's listed on there at 3 p.m. But I'm saying that I recommend that you probably listen in on that, because, you know, I applaud Fulton County for continuing to provide activities and access the things that support us during this very difficult time. And even being an instructor, I participate in some of these things because it really does keep you informed. So, Mary, I will send you the schedule. Lynn, did you get the schedule?
I think I got the schedule, but I don't know whether it's the latest one though.
Okay, all right, when we finish with class, I'll send it out. Pat, do you have it?
I have the email that was sent on the 5th, but I don't see a link for that class. Is it inside the?
It would be when you open up the schedule or look on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock, that link should be there.
Okay, yes, then I do
Okay.
have it. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Now, one of the things is just an added, I don't, even though they have the links to a lot of these things, I don't click on the link. I just take the access code and the password. And if you open up Zoom where it says join and click on join and put in those, you know, the access code and the password, it'll open up for you too.
Okay.
In the event that you don't do things like this, just to make you aware that it doesn't mean that you cannot get, you know, access a Zoom setup. If you have the same thing that happens with my class, if you're not doing it from the calendar itself, you know, you can put in the code for my class and the password and you're going to join it. Okay. All right. So that's number one.
Okay.
So we good with that. And that, as I said, this is today at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Also a reminder, and I don't have all of the particulars yet, about the pumpkin contest that will be done on October 30th. Normally we would have our pumpkin contest at the centers and a little event, and we judge the pumpkins, and we would usually have first, second, and third recognition. The part that's unknown to me at this point is how we're going to present them, whether it will be done through, I'm certain it'll be done virtually. But what we're asking people to do is that, you know, we don't really want a real pumpkin. We don't want people working on carving just a pumpkin up with a knife, because there's a possibility of accidents. So we're asking people to get a plastic pumpkin or any other type of pumpkin that you aren't using a carving knife on, and decorate that pumpkin so that you can enter it in the contest. And I've had the privilege over the past at least 2 years, maybe 3, to be one of the judges for the pumpkin contest. What I have always been impressed by is originality. Honestly, it's just amazing to see what people do in things like this. And so it's a fun way, but it's also another interactive thing that we're going to be able to do. So as I said, I'll probably, I think they may have been working out the logistics as to how we're going to display the pumpkins. And but as soon as I get that, but I do know the date is October 30th, and we're asking people to, you know, participate. In the past week, Michael's, I know last Saturday they had a online class in pumpkin decorating. And that to me was really a neat way to engage your children or grandkids with you, so you could see some of the things that were being done. And I think it was from like 12 to 3 or 12 to 2 or something like that. But, you know, use your imagination. This is the time to turn your jewelry skills into Miss Glitzy Pumpkin. You know what I mean? Oh, honestly, there's so much out there that you can do. So just wanted to share that. All right, so we're good?
Mhm.
Okay, Pat, did you have a question?
Oh, no, I was just
Oh.
trying to mute my phone.
Oh,
Mute.
okay, no problem. I wasn't quite sure. All right, so what I will do now is I want to do our show and tell for the day. And I do have some new things I want to talk about in regards to jewelry making. Annie, I will share this with you. I did take, because I did research on that class that you sent me, and I wasn't able to find anything, but I did open it up to my other classes. And one person came up with, and I think they're right, that that class looks like it's of the type to be used on like cord ends, because, and I'll open it back up to show you, because I missed the tube that's on one side that allows you to, you know, anchor it down to like cords or something like that. I think that was Ellen that saw that. And, but it was like, no one has ever seen this type of closure before. But let me just open this up. Go ahead.
No, but I just have a habit of buying things. I may not even need them or know what they are, but I'm curious about it, so I'll pick it up. I actually have 2 of them,
Oh,
and I don't know what to do.
well, it's interesting though. All right, so what I want to do first is I want to show the items that were submitted for show and tell. And then once I get beyond that, then I'll talk about the subject matter that I want to do for today, which will lead into some of the other areas that I want to introduce you to. So I give you all one guess. Whose work is this?
Mary?
Mary? I
Yes.
love all the earring. I love the dangling one.
I know, they're beautiful.
I love what you,
Yes, and the bangle is beautiful too.
So is
And
this your memory wire, Mary?
that's my memory wire.
Okay.
And I had
Oh,
cookies. I didn't know what to do with them. And I said, well, I can't lose them if I put them on this wire. So, you know, it worked out all right. But I love
Now,
the earrings. Those are the ones you said just the ones you were talking
was the
about.
wire? Mhm.
Yes, I
Right.
love
All 3 of these are like that?
3 of those.
Oh, very good. It's easy, isn't it?
Yes.
Very. I love the way they look. My question is, on your memory wire,
Hmm.
is this the bracelet size wire?
It is. That's the only one
Okay.
they had. But it was big and it was big. It was too big. I said, I'm not putting them in pieces. I cut it in half and got 2 bracelets out of it.
No, that's fine. The reason I asked
Yeah.
that question is
Mhm.
because there was someone that had done a memory wire piece
That was
or
Wonder,
a
wasn't it? Or was it
bracelet,
Wonder? Or what
but
else?
they had the wire for the necklace. for
Yeah,
the
I remember seeing her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was curious to see.
No, it was just for the. I assumed because it was small. I said this must be that bracelet size.
Yeah, it looks really good. Did a good job with
I'm
that.
gonna get one piece and what I'm gonna do next time is cut a little bit, give me an ankle bracelet. I do it. Oh, don't pay me no more.
It's okay. Okay, and this was your second set.
Mm-hmm.
I love the color in this stone.
You know what I did? I bought the blue. When I bought some beads from Fire Mountain. They had that you buy a pound for what, $5, and you know you get some in and everything. And then I had to pull some stuff out there so I can do. Now I got a whole bunch. I got to figure out what to do with the rest of.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. You get anything. I think they just be trying not to lose something. It's just like just bunch of everything, in and everything in there. About 2
Wow.
pounds. So I got 2 pounds. So I got to figure out what to do with it.
So you just get an assortment of stones and
It's
other
assortment.
pieces?
You lucky if you can match something up. I mean, It's just to keep from wasting their beads and losing costs. I know what it's
Oh,
about, but
okay. Wow, I didn't know that. That's nice.
Yeah, I bought that bag once, and I just when I had a doctor appointment, I took it with me and I tried to sort out.
now,
You get
yeah.
a lot of stuff in
I
there.
sorted the big pieces out and whatever, but they got some really, really small pieces there in the bag. But that's what I did too. I sorted as much as possible. That's where the blue beads came from. On the blue, they came from that pound bag.
But you know, one of the things I find amazing is now that we are into so many crafting things, we're not as antsy when we go to the doctor and our appointment time is delayed. It's like we're occupied because I'm always like on my iPad, working a puzzle or something. And then when they call me, if I haven't found a solution, I'm almost annoyed, like, hey, could you give me
Yeah.
5 more minutes?
Yes, I know that's right.
Yes, for sure. And this is from Miss Pat.
Ooh,
You
yeah.
are really moving along. Did you share this with your friend, our friend?
Not yet, no.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
very, very good.
I like.
Really.
Well, I tried.
Oh, you did a good job.
Pretty
Thank you.
nice colors.
Thank you.
The thing is that you have to develop a mindset of success, because first you say, well, I tried. But the thing about it is that if you don't believe it inside of you, you're going to always be challenging yourself on what you're doing. So I'm just sharing with you, for someone that was brand new, had never done any jewelry making at
Right.
all.
At
That's
all.
my point. Most of us have been in hands-on situations and other things. I mean, really. And that's what I want you to look at, is
Okay.
what you were able to do, because you have to feel it inside.
Okay. I could not pull up the videos from the email. So if you could send those to me again. So I was just going on memory.
Okay, and I will check those. I know you had an attachment in your message to me. Which 2 were you looking for again?
The
The
beginners,
Close,
the
the intro
yes.
one. Okay.
And the one for the earrings.
Okay. I have to check into that because I moved them off of the drive because
Okay.
it's taken apart. But I still have them, so I just need to make certain of how to resend them to you. But I will
Okay.
get them out to you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Now, that's all I had for show and tell for today. Do you have any questions or comments before I go into the other things I wanted to present? Okay. All right. In particular, what I wanted to pass on to you, there are so many different methods that we have to enhance our jewelry making skill. And when you start out with basic stringing or wire wrapping or something, you're just like at the beginner's part of some of the things that we do. And today what I wanted to talk to you about is patinas. And patina, do you know what patina is?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Normally what happens if you have a metal or something like that and you throw it outside and the rain hits it or whatever, you ever see things when it changes these colors? I mean, even though leaves on a tree are not really a patina, and technically to me they are, because you notice how they start out green and as the weather changes, they become all these beautiful colors and everything. Natural oxidation on certain type of metal material, if it's not protected or whatever, it starts to oxidize.
Okay.
Depend, like copper in particular is one. As it oxidizes, you get more of these colors like oranges and greens and all of these beautiful, beautiful colors. Even when we have silver pieces that starts to darken, it's really a type of oxidation on that piece. So one of the things that came about in recent years is ways to color metals without using outside elements like the rain. When they talk about acid rain, those are things too that will enhance the oxidation process. If you've ever been involved in a metalsmithing class, we use certain types of acids and things, and we do what they call an acid wash, where we'll stick the item in the acid. And what happens is it will start that etching process. But now what we have these patina paints that you can purchase, which will allow you to change the color of an item. So sometimes people have inexpensive metal pieces or whatever, and usually it's like a dirty looking silver or something, and they really don't want it to look like that. You can change the color using these patina paints. So what I want you to see is this bracelet,
Beautiful.
but this bracelet, and I really should have taken a picture of it before, but this is after I applied. These tubes were like not sterling silver tubes. They were like a silver plated color that over the period of time started to darken. And when you get silver plated, it's not that you can go in and use some of these cleansers, because what it does is it has a reaction with that metal. So what I did is I took it and I used my patina paints, and these places that you see, it was done with patina paint. And when everything was done and dried out, I then put a sealant on it. And you may not be able to see this, but I have the bracelet on, but I gave it color. I colored the metals so that, you know, so there are ways, it's kind of like using this to create an instant patina effect. So I wanted you to be aware that you can use these patina paints. If you have inexpensive tubes and other things, any type of metal that you want, you can paint them. So I don't know how many different, there are a lot more colors available now, but these are the paints that I now have. But I know that there are other colors. So you see where it says for all metal? And this bracelet that I'm wearing, I have the base is this color here. This is the green. And this is the sealant that goes over. And what the sealant does is once everything is painted and you want to make certain that it's dry, really dry, then you come back and you put this glaze on it. And it gives you a permanent finish on that paint. And I love using patinas, because if I have something that's not so expensive, and I don't mean it when I say not so expensive, but you know, it's not the color or something that you want, you can change the effect of it by using these paints. Of course, when you're working with things like polymer clay that come in various colors, you know, you can blend those colors together to give you a different effect. But these patinas are strictly for metals.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what the current price level is. I think when I bought these, they were about $6 for each one of these little bottles, and this may have been about $9 or something. But they're great. And Ranger is the manufacturer for these, because Ranger also does a lot of the inks. But I love this. I love it. I love it. So, any questions? This is your time, ladies.
The price is still between $6 and $8 for those, and they are, to me, they tiny little bottles, but
right, but they've got a pinpoint dropper head to them, and it doesn't take a lot. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot. Normally, what I do when I'm painting, I just take some paraffin paper or something, put it down, and I just drop my ink right onto that. And I like to use a really good brush that has a pointed tip to it, more or less, because then it makes it easy to get into all the little crevices and stuff of your pieces.
Mhm.
And don't forget your gloves.
Well, that's good. You know how I am such a shortcut worker. I don't use my gloves, but
So you use a patina for all metals, paint on things like copper or wire that tarnish,
now the thing with copper it already has
or silver.
a finish to it. If I were working on copper or something like that, and I want to bring out a different color to it, you can use vinegar or something like that. It becomes like an acid wash, and it'll help change it. However, you have to be concerned about it, because now so many manufacturers are making copper that's already coated with protective finish on it.
Hmm.
So sometimes you have to be aware of that. And it doesn't mean that you can't get through the finish, but then you have to use like an acid wash or something. That's where I'm saying positively you want to have your gloves and things on, for sure.
So do you use this on things like silver when it got tarnished?
You can, but if
Oh.
you were using on silver, you want to make sure that you polish and clean the silver. I think this stuff is good on silver plated things that are not, you know what I mean, sterling or so. I wouldn't want, if I'm buying sterling, I certainly don't want to paint sterling. Like these
Oh,
tubes
okay.
that are in the piece that I have on, they were silver plated. You know, it's not
Mhm.
an expensive piece, and I just wanted to change it. So you see this color in here?
Mhm.
This is the original color of my tubes and pieces.
Right.
It's kind of dark silver looking color there. But as I said, it's plated. So it's no big deal. It just allowed me to change it. See in here? But when I did the ends in green along with this, but I wanted to keep this the same color because these pieces were, they're crystal pieces that in here clear. But all of this is done using the patina paint.
Okay.
But it allowed me to take an inexpensive metal that I no longer like the color of and give it some color.
Extended wear.
I did it on a piece of gold, one of my monthly subscription, and when we all did a review of it, we all agreed that was an ugly piece of gold, but we put patina on it, and it really made the piece come out. It gave it a different look.
Oh
And we
yeah,
all changed our attitude about it.
oh absolutely. I love being able to use the color stuff, and I like having that, you know, extra color on the bracelet and all. It just changes it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's another one of those methods that I want you to be aware that's out here, things that can be used. Now I wanted you to see this. This came from Friday's class. Oh, well, Linda, we missed you on Friday. And this was a bracelet that was done.
Beautiful.
But what I like about it is, I don't know, see this? She patinaed her clasp to match her beads. Because oftentimes, you know, we pretty much find these clasps, they only like gold or silver or something like that. But this is what was done to coordinate this, her beads, with that. And I personally think that it looks so much better having a clasp
Yep, the color.
that's coordinated with the beads than having a gold or silver clasp. And when you see the piece, that clasp, if it's different, is what the first thing you're going to look at.
Yeah.
Right.
Agree?
I never would have thought to change the colors like that. My patinas is mostly a dark color, the black, or I use a brown or something, but those colors, I've never thought about using them in that manner.
And sometimes what happens,
So that's a good idea.
you have to mix a couple colors. This is when it becomes necessary to know about your primary, secondary colors and all. And another thing I love about jewelry crafting, because it's a good way to go back and refresh on some of the things that we learned in school, these color charts, and mixing things, and even going back to some of those mathematical things that we hated, when you measure it out. But the irony is, when you're looking at these things through a crafter's eye, you don't really think about it being math or something like that. It's like you're like, oh, I need to make certain that I get this sort of length of my bracelet is the right length or something like that. And that's what makes it so much fun and learning at the same time. Or for us, refreshing what we probably have passed on simply because we may not remember all of these things. But I just think it's so interesting. But anyway, I wanted you to see that this is what she did. And it just changes the piece.
Yeah.
Made it prettier.
Yes.
Pretty.
I'm gonna try that.
Good, 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 good. I'm happy to hear that. Okay. So we did the paints, we did those things. Are there any questions at this point? Okay. What I want to give you an insight into is some of the other methods by which we can make jewelry, and things that I will explore in greater depth with you as we go forward. One of my favorite techniques is knotting. And a lot of people don't think about it. We're always into like stringing something. And sometimes you have these beautiful cords out there. And all you have to do is use a knotting technique to add your beads to things. I've done bracelets, I just knotted beads on them. And what I think are great about bracelets is that you can take a long piece of cord. And as I said, as we go forward, I'll go in more depth with some of these things. A long piece of cord. And if you wanted to make a multi-strand bracelet, you can just add your beads and knot a very long piece, 24 long, 36, whatever. And then you can fold these pieces. For instance, if I normally like to wear a bracelet that's about at least 7.25 long, but I could make a 24-inch long piece and knot it in between there and end up getting almost a triple wrap bracelet when I go around. But what's neat about it is when these beads come together in between these knots, then you get this really nice clustered bracelet. And it doesn't involve you having to, excuse me, lady. Excuse me. It doesn't involve you in having to do all these extra things, like crimping your beads or doing something like that. Knotting is such a great thing.
At one point I was all into knotting, so I wound up buying, I have 2 pieces of equipment that's supposed to knot for you. And I don't use them at all. I manually knot things. So that was just a waste of money.
Annie. And speaking of what you're saying is, I probably have about 3 or 4 things. I probably have some of what you have, but I prefer, and I have what they call the knotty board that I bought years ago, and you can stretch things out. It has these pins on it, and I prefer doing my knots manually also. And what I normally like to do is I use like an owl with that real sharp point, so I can move my loops down and pull it right up against the bead and things like that. So I agree with you. And it's, of course, I purchase things so I can have it, but it's back to the same things. We don't always need to buy something to make it work. I always share that if you have that clipboard around and a humongous paper clip, or those, well, yeah, I guess that's a paper clip, and where you can clip your cords down, it's amazing how many things you can do with this $5 board. But knotting is another thing that I will explore in greater depth with you. Another item that I will get into as well, and this is a loom. I love loom work. I have to figure out how to, I can show you all of the tools and supplies required, but I may have to do some of it as a short video so you can see it. But I love working the loom. And the concept is back to, remember we used to do the pot holders, over, under, except this time we're working with beads. Oftentimes when we're looming a piece. I mean, some people will just do a straight piece without the benefit, but what this does, it allows you to create bracelets or flat pieces on this loom. And I love working with the loom. So this is another area that I will explore with you.
Okay.
And I wanted to present some of these things so you have the opportunity to think about them. And if there's something, you know, in particular, I need to go as for a direction so I can talk about that. Another one of our favorite things is kumihimo.
Yeah.
Mary, we taught that.
What's that?
The kumihimo is a disc. And
Yeah.
this disc allows you to do weaving on it. Another one of my favorite, this
Weaving?
disc costs about $5 or $6, but you can do so much with it. When you get into doing tubular pieces, like tubular necklaces and things like that, this is where this disc comes into play. So if you hear anybody talk about kumi, it's pronounced kumihimo, but we just normally call it kumi. This is what a kumi loom looks like. And I always point out that when I first saw this, I saw these little Girl Scouts in Walmart buying a little disc to make their friendship bracelet. So my rule still remains. If the Girl Scout 7 and 8 years old can do it, trust me, you can do it too.
Not necessarily.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Right, Mary? Mary, do you remember?
You know, last week that what my piece was, the kumihimi piece.
Oh, okay, one of your necklace pieces?
Mm-hmm.
I love this thing. And now, Annie, when we do the kumi loom, the ends of the cords has to be inserted in a closure that allows a tube to go in it. So
I never got into it.
oh, it's fun.
It is fun.
The key thing about using a kumi loom is whenever you stop, you make certain that you stop at your starting point. Because trust me, you don't want to go back and try to figure out where I need to go. Not at all.
Just leave those 3 there. If you know that 3 there, then you know you will stop right there.
It's kind of like one up, one down, and then do a 90-degree turn. That's what it's really simple, but we're going to explore that some more.
Yes.
And one of my favorites, and I know Mary was really hooked onto this. I think this is it. Thought I made a copy for us to look at. Perhaps I did not. Oh, here it is. I forgot to pull it over. All right. Macrame is another one of my favorite things to do.
Oh yeah, those are.
And these slider bracelets and things like this. Love, 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 love macrame.
Yeah.
Now this piece I'm showing you is not one that I did, it's one that one of my students made for me because she knows I like green. But I love working macrame. It's another one of those things I think that's great for the fingers, keeps your dexterity there. But this is another thing, another technique I want to explore. So I just want to give you an overview of some of the directions that I'm going, because we're so used to thinking about the stringing or something like that and not looking at other things that can be done. And most people that have been in classes with me for a while, they know these techniques because we've pretty much done them all. And I try to stay abreast of any new thing or something that was coming down the pipe. So they should be well-rounded. But I just want to give you an idea of what I'll be looking at and encouraging you if there's something that you find that you have questions to or want to explore. you know, you have the opportunity to send me an email and let me know, because it really is my desire to help you be at the same level that some of the students are. And just because we're not in a classroom setting, in each other's physical presence, trust me, we can still do this. We can still do it. It's still there. It's still there. So those are my words, and I'm sticking to them.
Okay.
Thank you very much for all the help that you have been given to me. You know that I'm new, but I don't know a lot of technical things and all the products things, but you have been a great help to me then. Thank you.
And I thank you for the compliments, because I really do try, and I want you to feel comfortable with everything you're doing. I really, really do.
Yes, you're a
So
wonderful teacher.
thank you. Thank you, Linda. So are there any final questions or comments before, because we're about to end our session here? Yes, Mary.
Oh, I'm interested in it. And I got all this cord here. I mean, I got a lot of cords, a lot of beads. Yes.
Absolutely. So not a problem. So I will start. I'm trying to decide. Perhaps I'll start out with the macrame first.
Okay.
Great.
That's
Tell me, will I need any additional tools or?
no, just wait. So I'll start with macrame first, because the reason I say that, because I find once people figure out how that works, it makes it easier with the other things.
Mhm.
So I'll do the macrame, and then we'll look at knotting and go in that direction. But I'll start with the macrame first.
Okay.
Great.
Where
That
to get
okay?
those macrame thread though?
That's
You know,
right.
I
No,
found a
don't go
pattern.
buy, don't purchase anything, not at all, until I talk. Because the biggest thing you would probably look at is just needing a clipboard or something, honestly. So
Yeah.
don't go out buying
All
anything.
right. Okay.
I know you, Linda.
Let's ready to go shopping.
No, the reason I asked was because when I was doing the internet searching and I found one of the designs so nice, then I was looking at it, I thought it's pearl, but then it turned out to be macrame. It's so beautiful. And I was thinking, when am I going to look into doing this? Okay, that this is the
I
time. that you
read
will
your
teach me.
mind, so not to worry, but we're all good. So on that note, I'm going to say, hopefully I may see some of you all in class this afternoon. Feel free to join in. It's been great, and I certainly appreciate you continuing to participate with me, keeping me going, and I hope that I'm sharing something that's keeping you going.
Mhm.
Okay?
Thank you
So,
so much.
Thank you. We
all right,
appreciate
have a
it.
good one.
Appreciate you.
And don't forget the
All
3
right.
o'clock meeting if you can attend that, okay?
Okay.
And
All
I will
right.
send out the link. Mary, I'll send you the schedule, and who else
Okay.
needs the schedule? That was it? Okay, I'll get that out. All right, ladies, have a good one.
You as
All
well.
right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.